Hey guys, Stuart Reading with S2TV and welcome back. I wanted to do some follow-up videos on programming and try to help you guys understand how you need to be breaking out your workouts throughout the week. And I think the easiest way to begin this discussion is by thinking about having moments of high intensity, or what I would call maximum effort days, and then also low intensity days, which we here at Studio 2 would call LIT training, low intensity interval training. So everybody needs to have an equal mix of both of these. And there's a couple of laws pertaining to fitness that apply to both of these. One is called specificity. So specificity basically says to get better at something, I need to be doing it. So if I want to get better at, for instance, HIIT training or high intensity training, I need to spend time doing that. The problem is, if all I'm doing is high intensity training, then overtraining starts to happen. And this is the law of accommodation. So the law of accommodation would basically say, if I keep using the same stimulus, the same intensity levels, the same weights, the same circuit, or the same style of training, and never changing the modality of the movement or intensity levels, then I get stagnant. The growth stops happening. So from a programming perspective, a good coach is always trying to provide enough stimulus that we're using specificity to get better at something, but we're changing it enough that our body never accommodates to it. So what we recommend is that everybody is doing at least 2 to 3 high intensity or maximum effort days, and following it up with 2 to 3 low intensity days. Now I'm going to do a follow-up video later in the week pertaining specifically to strength training, and the same principles apply, specificity and accommodation. So if we look at it from a general perspective, I think the low intensity days are a little more confusing to people than high intensity days. For high intensity days, most people just come in, do the class or do a private session with us, and we provide that. Now low intensity days are just as important, once again, as your high intensity days for a lot of reasons. Now here at Studio 2, we do VO2 testing and a substrate analysis that shows how the client is metabolizing both fats and sugars, and there's a specific heart rate range where the optimum low intensity interval should be happening. Now if you don't have access to that type of testing, what you need to do is find out what your max heart rate is. So on your high intensity days, we should be somewhere between 85 and 100%, or I would say 86 to 100% heart rate max, moving up and down from 86 to 100, not just sitting at 100% heart rate. And then on your low intensity days, those should be focused about 65 to 85% heart rate max. Now for a lot of my guys, they like to do a body split type training or more weight training on those low intensity days, and as long as we're keeping the heart rate in that range, that's fine. If that's the goal and you want to add more mass, you want to experience hypertrophy, that's great. For a lot of other people who aren't interested in that, more specific to weight loss, I would recommend 2 things. One is an interval between cardio and also some kind of corrective exercise, or let's just say, for now, let's introduce some yoga into it. So once you get on your cardio machine, we want to go from the bottom, 65, to the top of your low intensity zone, which would be 85%. Take about 3 to 4 minutes to experience that. Get off of the cardio machine, because we just don't want to sit on a piece of cardio forever. Get off, do 3 or 4 sun salutations, some kind of corrective exercise for 2 to 3 minutes. And by the time you make it back to your cardio machine and get back on for the interval, you'll probably find you're at the bottom of your low intensity zone. So once again, I get on the cardio, I increase my heart rate up to the top of my HIIT zone at 85%. I get off, I do 2 to 3 asanas in yoga, some kind of corrective stretching or corrective exercise. by the time I get back on top of or on my cardio machine, I should be at the bottom end of my low intensity zone again. If weight training or any other type of training is something that you're wanting to experience, let's just say, for instance, strength training, I need to be spending time in that 65 to 85% capacity of my 1 RM maximum. So I hope this gives you a better understanding about the need for both maximum intensity or HIIT and also low intensity interval training. Both have to be a part of your programming. And any questions, anything we can help on this subject, please email us and we will be sure to answer it.